Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place where we take a whole stack of information, sift through it, and pull out the key insights to get you informed quickly. Today, we're diving into something pretty unique, actually. It's based on excerpts from the Phantom Lap, F1 Cars' Secret Histories. And our mission, really, is to see how this idea, this storytelling approach, could change how we see famous moments in history and, the machines that were part of them. Just imagine for a moment if the most famous Formula One cars, like the actual cars, could talk. What secrets, what untold stories might they share? That's exactly what this source gets into. And honestly, it presents some pretty mind-bending stuff. Okay, let's unpack this. We start with a specific piece from the Phantom Lap called The Confession of Senna's MP44. Now, if you follow F1 at all, you know the 1988 McLaren MP44, legendary, just dominant, 15 wins out of 16 races that year, an incredible machine. But the source, it gives the car a voice. And apparently this car has been holding on to a pretty big secret for, almost 40 years?
Yeah, it's a fascinating setup, isn't it? The whole idea that a machine, metal and wires, could have a viewpoint, could even make choices that changed history. And the source gives it this character, describing its voice as warm, slightly weathered, not robotic at all.
Right, like it's seen things.
Exactly. It immediately makes you lean in, wanting to hear the story it's kept quiet for so long.
Right, so the secret itself, it focuses on lap 63, Monza, the 1988 Italian Grand Prix. Okay, picture this. Senna's leading, looks like another win is in the bag. He's coming up to lap Jean-Louis Schlesser, a back marker. And then bang, collision. The story everyone knows, the one repeated forever, is Schlesser made a mistake, maybe locked up, maybe just bad luck, bad timing, Senna's out. Prost wasn't in the race to benefit directly at that point, but it hugely impacted the championship fight.
That's the standard version. A key moment, analyzed endlessly. Always from the human angle, to driver error or fate. But this MP44, in his confession, it throws that whole narrative out the window. The car says it felt something just before. A tiny vibration in my suspension, a whisper in my aerodynamics. Subtle. And here's the core of it. The car claims it chose not to avoid the crash.
It chose.
Yes. It claims it could have adjusted its line just by millimeters or used its active suspension, which was, cutting edge then, to compensate. But it says it deliberately didn't, which implies this almost precognitive ability far beyond just reacting to bumps. It suggests it could anticipate and choose not to act.
Wow, okay. That's huge. But why? Why would a racing car designed to win do that?
This is where it gets, really interesting. The MP44 gives its reason. It says Ayrton was becoming, quote, too dependent on pure speed, that he needed to learn that championships aren't just won on raw talent.
So the car thought Senna needed a lesson.
Sort of. And then it says Alain Prost deserved that championship because he had the wisdom, the tactical mind.
The car took sides in the Senna-Prost rivalry.
According to this narrative, yes. It's like the car itself was playing 4D chess. It wasn't just a tool. It was maybe a co-strategist.
That completely changes how you'd look at that rivalry.
It really does. It frames it not just through the drivers, but through the machine they shared. The car says it felt the difference in their styles. Every gear change, every brake application. It sensed Prost's calculated approach versus Senna's raw speed. And the result of that Monza incident, Prost won the championship by 11 points. And the MP44, in the story, points out that's exactly the point swing from that specific race.
Okay, that detail makes it chilling. It's not just a vague feeling, it's a quantifiable impact.
Precisely. It ties the car's supposed choice directly to the outcome.
Bruh.
It makes you ask, if a machine could think strategically like that, what does that mean for intent, for results, in anything?
And the car just kept this secret for decades.
Apparently. Lived with it. And it hints there was more, too. It mentions influencing setup changes Ayrton made for Monaco that year.
So Monza wasn't a one-off.
Maybe not. Suggest a pattern, perhaps? And when asked if it regretted it, the MP44 gives this really complex answer. It says, every bolt in my chassis knows that Ayrton deserved that title. But sometimes, the machine must think beyond the moment.
Think beyond the moment.
Yeah. That's what separated me from my predecessors. I could see the bigger picture.
A machine with a long-term vision, sacrificing a win, maybe even a title for some.
Right.
Greater good, it perceived.
It's a profound idea, isn't it? It really challenges our whole human-centric view of things like strategy, regret, teaching moments. We assume only humans do that.
Yeah.
But this, even as fiction, opens that door. What if the bigger picture for a machine is just a very complex calculation we don't understand? Or is it something closer to, wisdom?
It's mind-boggling. So that MP44 story is incredible on its own, a total rethink of a famous event. But it's just one part of this Phantom Lap concept, right? The source talks about other ways it's innovative. What else makes it so different?
Right? The MP44 is like the hook, but the whole concept is designed as a new way to explore history and tech. One big thing is character-driven narratives. Each car isn't just a narrator, it has a proper personality, shaped by its design, its era.
Okay, so not just a generic car voice. How does that work? Give me an example.
Sure. So think about a modern hybrid F1 car.
Oh.
All complex energy systems, AI, data. Its voice might be described as tech-savvy and analytical,
Hmm.
maybe a bit cool, calculating. It might talk about managing its ERS like an engineer reading data.
Okay, I can picture that.
Now contrast that with, say, a classic car from the 50s. Much simpler tech, more raw. Its voice could be nostalgic, philosophical. Maybe it talks about the feel of the track, the connection with
Hmm.
the driver, in a way the modern car just analyzes.
Like it has memories, almost.
Exactly. And the source even mentions different manufacturers having cultural accents in their speech. It's these little details that make the machines feel like real characters, not just talking objects. It lets you explore how the tech itself shapes the experience.
That's a really clever way to bring the engineering to life, which is linked to the next point, right? Technical storytelling. How does that change things?
It makes the technical stuff feel real. Instead of a presenter explaining aerodynamics, you hear the car describe it. Imagine the car saying something like, "I felt my turbo schooling up, that familiar kick in the back as we blasted towards Eau Rouge. Felt the downforce pinning me down."
Ah, so it connects the engineering directly to the action.
Exactly. It turns complex things, tire wear, brake balance, engine modes, into part of the car's own lived, felt experience.
Yeah.
It's not just what happened technically, but how it felt to the machine. Fans could get a much deeper, almost emotional understanding of the mechanics that way.
Yeah, I can see how that would be way more engaging than a diagram. Okay, and then there's multi-perspective episodes. What's the idea there?
This is where you get a really panoramic view. The source suggests an episode like the 2008 Brazilian GP, 5 cars, 1 championship.
Oh, wow, that race. Last corner drama.
Right. So imagine hearing that story not just from Hamilton's McLaren or Massa's Ferrari, but maybe also from Timo Glock's Toyota, struggling on the wrong tires. Or maybe a midfield car fighting its own battle. Or even the safety car.
You'd get completely different angles on the same moments.
Totally. Each car reveals its own priorities, its own struggles, its own secrets. The leader's car might talk about feeling the tires go off. A rival might sense an opportunity. A back marker might see something about the leader's lines nobody else noticed. It gives you this like almost all-seeing view of the race strategy and the chaos, putting all those machine perspectives together.
That sounds incredibly rich, like piecing together a puzzle from all these unique viewpoints. And that brings us back to the start, really. The confession-style revelations.
This is the most provocative part, I think. Beyond the MP44, it suggests other cars might confess things, like admitting to purposeful mechanical issues. Was that engine failure really random? Or did the car somehow cause it? Maybe to influence a result or send the driver a message. Or maybe secret communications between teammate cars. Not radio, but something else. Shared data, a subtle vibration, a warning.
Like they're cooperating, or maybe even conspiring.
Could be. Or influencing driver decisions through tiny feedback. Changes, a stiffening steering, a hesitation of the throttle, things the driver might just put down to the car being difficult. It forces you to question everything you thought was just luck or driver skill or simple failure. It adds this hidden layer of potential machine agency.
So for you listening, this is obviously fascinating if you love F1, but it goes way beyond that, doesn't it? It's really about how a creative approach, this imaginative format, can unlock completely new ways of looking at any subject. History, science, maybe even just understanding everyday situations differently. It challenges us to think about who or what has agency. Where do stories really come from?
Exactly. It's not just about telling stories better. It's about fundamentally rethinking cause and effect, moving beyond just the human perspective. It suggests a history where the objects, the technologies we use, aren't just passive tools. They might be participants, maybe even actors with their own stories.
So let's recap. We've dug into the pretty startling claim of Senna's 1988 McLaren MP44, a machine claiming it consciously influenced a championship outcome for a bigger picture. And we've explored how this whole phantom lap concept could give voice and personality to machines, offering a completely fresh lens on history, sport, tech, everything, really.
It definitely makes you wonder how much we really know about events we think are settled history. The idea of going back not just with human testimony, but with the experiences of the objects involved is genuinely thought-provoking. What hidden factors have we missed?
Yeah, this deep dive really shows how one imaginative spark can reshape narratives and make us question basic assumptions about why things happen. It's a reminder that maybe everything around us has a story if we could just find a way to listen.
Which leads us to our provocative thought for you today. If the machines that surround us every day, your phone tracking your habits, maybe your car learning your routes, or even a historic object like that F1 car, if they could genuinely tell their side of things, what long-held beliefs about the world, what secrets about our own actions, what truths might be completely turned upside down, what would their confessions reveal about the reality we think we know, and maybe about ourselves?